It's not about humility or showing off. It's about connecting with people, connecting with community, educate them. I believe we don't need to look younger necessarily. We need to look in health. We need to look good in our skin. Have courage and don't be shy about testing your vision, because people will say it's impossible, really. Like, people will try to stop your project. Don't take yourself too seriously. Have fun with your team. Focus on the vision, and don't worry if sometimes you have a knee down or you fail. It's part of the journey.
Zenoti presents Growth Diaries, the fascinating stories behind the best brands in beauty, wellness, and fitness.
Intuition is a funny thing. It's defined as the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning, but instead following an instinctive feeling. Today's guest followed her intuition, and it took her from opening a single aesthetics clinic to becoming the founder of Canada's largest network of premium aesthetic clinics with 70 plus locations and an impressive 0 to 200 million growth trajectory. In 2009, Marilyne opened and founded Dermapure, following her intuition that the medical aesthetic industry would surely take off, and she couldn't have been more right. Through Dermapure, the pursuit of beauty becomes more than skin deep. It's an integrated experience, prioritizing the patient's overall well-being and always sticking to a concept of positive aging. To recount the incredible success of Dermapure's journey and her relentless dedication and visionary foresight is the industry pioneer herself, Marilyne. So welcome to Growth Diaries, Marilyne. So thanks for making the time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great. So obviously with Dermapure, you have become the face of Dermapure as you built this company. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about how did you get into this industry in terms of the medical aesthetics?
So my background, I studied in business, major in marketing, international commerce. When I was about 25, I got into capital technology sales. So I was for Xerox. I learned the best customer approach through Xerox, and I've been headhunted for another distributor company into the aesthetic. So I was about 27. I had my first child with me. My daughter was 2 years old, and I was passionate about technology in general. And then I've been recruited in this industry to actually train and sell dermatologic technology. So I got my first passion working in an industry. But I also saw at that moment that doctors were lacking support. And they were like, oh, I have no time for communication. I have no time for marketing. I don't want to sell myself, as a doctor. And I would rather give up on HR and administration and banking. So I thought, why don't I take that opportunity to create something that will mainly support the doctor to concentrate on patients?
So clearly, when you were selling equipment and technology to the doctors, as you said, the doctors were not as passionate about marketing and all that, and you couldn't get enough people to listen to your advice. So that's why you said, okay, let me start a store on my own kind of thing, right?
Yes.
And but at the same time, in terms of when you start off a store, getting customers and getting the first set of people, you were selling technology equipment. You were not in the industry. So how did you go about achieving that?
How did I jump in?
Yeah.
So I was 30 years old. 30 years old only. My daughter was about 5. I keep the memory of the time frame with my daughter growing. So I was raising her by myself. building that company. So I saw that opportunity to support the doctors. So I thought I'm going to create a first clinic. I was 30 years old, purchased the name dermapure.com for $5,000. Imagine. It was nothing at that time, but it looked a lot for me, you know. I had the .ca, but I thought I'm gonna create something international, so I need the .com. And then I create the first clinic in Sherbrooke, in Quebec, Canada, and hire a first doctor, hire a staff, and I did everything myself with them for the first year. So phone, some treatments, meeting the patient, and really build from scratch what would be the customer journey and how I would really strongly support the doctor in terms of communication and everything about administration. So I think the start was very important that I was hands-on myself.
Cool. And so, yeah, I think that's interesting. You had the insight very early that doctors in this space are not as, don't have the business and marketing aptitude. They don't think about all those things. So you could bring that to the table,
Right.
I'm assuming. So even today, I know you've acquired a lot of businesses as well. What is the value that doctors see when they say, okay, I'll be part of the Dermapure network? Why do they come?
Why they come, and I have two type of partners. So yes, we grew by acquisition, partnership, I would mainly say, because now all our partners have shares in the big holdings. So some of them, they are like at the 3/4 of their career and they have done everything themselves. They're getting in this digital world and they're like, I don't know about social media. I don't want to do it myself. I'm more on the path of retirement eventually. So it looks for them a huge effort to get it in this new trend. So I have that type of partner, and now I have a lot of young partners also that just out of school or want to evolve into the aesthetic career, and they're like, you know what, I don't want to do the marketing. So you're right. Most of doctors don't want to do it. Some of them are superstars when they love it on the social media, but it's probably 10% of my partners who love to do their own social media.
So basically, they do see the value around primarily the marketing and some of the systems and processes that you've set up, basically.
Exactly. Now we have the online booking with Zenity, but everything, the system we put in place is make them save time for sure. Again, dedicate to patient first, patient centric. They see we can help on the resources, human resources, also doing the recruitment, trying to align a customer experience from the consultation, all the touch points, but also with technology with like Zenity to go deeper with each patients and bring the loyalty.
So usually, marketing means people think there's a marketing organization, and I'm sure, obviously, you have all that. But I've seen you lead from the front in terms of social media. You're like the face of your brand, and you spend a lot of time. You know, give me more color. Maybe you can share with others. What led you to do this? Because it takes a lot of
Yes.
time. I mean, me personally, going and doing social media for Zenoti is
Yes.
very hard work. Like so.
Yes. And you're more on, like a geek side. So it asks probably you a big effort. And some people could be shy and think, oh, I'm a humble leader. Why would I do this? But it's not about humility or showing off. It's about connecting with people, connecting with community, educate them. So my first purpose and mission when I start doing communication on social media, I used to do TV morning shows, and I saw how much people appreciate that we were on the educational side. So I think it's being generous, being accessible as a leader, connecting with the community. It's very important because today, the young generations, they are looking for great benefits like a lifestyle, and they look for a leader they will believe in. And that's why I think sharing our values, connecting with them, it's very important. If not, the young generation, they just go from a company to another one until they find a leader that they connect with.
Yeah, great. And I think it's this whole notion, what you just said about social media, a lot of people don't do it. One, they think it's work. Second, someone like me can also feel like, oh, why do I need to, doesn't, you are showing off or something.
Right.
But it's none of those. It's actually about helping people be educated and be more aware in your investing, and it helps build your people trust in your brand and your company kind of thing as well.
Yes,
So
I know many leaders has been inspired by who are super humble, but they're strong in communication and they are accessible. And you can see the human side, you can see the vulnerability, and so it's a myth to believe that it's being showing off to be out there communicate. So we need to pass that barrier, and I don't see in any case somebody like you feeling that you are showing off. So what's the content we share? That's
yeah,
the most important. If you share about your car, your like everything you own, then you're showing off. If you talk with the patient and customer what they matter about, then you are in a position of serving them. So I think it's a way to look at it.
yeah, and I think anyone should see the work you've done in social media personally, because I think that's why I hear you. We were talking earlier that there are so many people who probably come to Dermapure, and even now, though you've recently moved on from Dermapure, you're not operating it, but you're on the board. Is that they're still looking to say, oh, they want to work with you.
Yes. Again, the young generation, and I think the partners who joined Dermapure, they feel secure because they have followed me. They see I was caring about the people, the team first who deliver the services. I'm still there, as I said to you, and I shared with you. I stepped back from the presidency. I want to be less operational but more strategic. So I take courage, humility for me to say I'm 45, 46 now. What's the rest of my career? Do I want to still doing exactly the same, or I want to give plus value to the company and maybe help young entrepreneurs to elevate and create their own business. So I have a passion for young entrepreneurs and those new projects.
The beauty, wellness, and fitness industries touch our lives like no other industry does. And every brand that has succeeded in this industry has a wonderful story behind it. We have stories that engage, stories that we can learn from, stories that inspire all of us. And I'm here to bring you these stories and introduce you to the wonderful people behind these brands. So if you're enjoying this, do press like and hit the bell icon to subscribe, so you'll be the first to know when a new episode comes in.
And you've had I think, a very good belief system around how to get employees to be motivated in terms of culture, values, and it has really helped you even in terms of M&A work that you've done. You've acquired companies and been successful. Can you share and expand more on how you're focused on the culture aspect from employees?
Yes, it starts from the top. I don't like to say there's levels, but the leader, the way they're gonna work with their C-level VPs really have an impact on the entire company. So for me, building a culture, partnership after partnership, we are evolving. So first of all, people sometimes think, oh, a culture, what is Dermapure culture? Dermapure culture is in movement. So every time we do a new partnership, we take the best practices, we share. It's like building a community. And when they say you have multiple children, the love multiple. So it's not fixed, it's like growing that culture. And even you put words on paper, you need to act on it. So I think the value we share is super important. If you choose values, you nurture them, you evaluate the team on the values, how they act align with the values. Same thing when you choose partnerships. In our case, it's word, verb into action. We care, we empower, we dare, we innovate. So partners who recognize themselves in those values will also nurture the culture and build it. The last 2 years, we did a big merger. Two companies from Canada merged under Dermapure brand. And it was a very big challenge because it was two big cultures getting together. And we did the exercise to see, do we change some of the values? Are we comfortable? And actually the value evolve and the mission, the vision. So we need to be super sensitive to that. If you go by partnership, acquisition, fusion, it needs to align if we want people to be engaged.
Cool. And I think, yeah, that's having the clarity in culture and values really helps even in the M&A process, right? Because
Yeah.
people who are coming on board, they, kind of get integrated and the mergers are successful
Yes.
if you have that clarity.
Yes. Always a challenge though. Like there's the curve of change management takes at least a year because the doctor have built for 30 years, 20 years, and they have their own way to work. So if we're not aligned on the core values, it's going to be super difficult to integrate. So even we think we're a good company with good intention, with great values, it's not enough. We need together to go through those change management steps. Sometimes the doctor is ready and the team is less ready. How we make them progress. So I say time is on our side. I used to be a super fast person. I take the fast track, but for integration and culture, I think time is very is the essence.
Yeah, talking about fast track and all that, you are the one business, the only I know that got an investment from someone large like L'Oreal into your kind of a service business industry. Just give me more color as to how did that happen and
How we grew. So I did founded myself 3 clinics. So I opened 3 clinics de novo, as we say. And then I met strategic partners called Functional Labs, so a group in Quebec that were into skincare and vitamins. And I saw the opportunity to have an integrate concept holistic where we offer our skincare, our vitamins, and the services. For sure, having the right people on the board was important at that time since the beginning of our partnership together. Somebody was from L'Oréal Canada, the first owner of L'Oréal Canada who built from 0 to 600 millions, Joseph Bitton. So he was on our board. We had a great strategic board. And as we grew up, we had those conversations with L'Oréal. And I think the fact we were focused on building a strong brand with some flexibility, but also building the A team. This is what attracted the strong partner of L'Oréal Paris to be a partner with us, minority partner.
Cool. That's great. I mean, I think that's a big accomplishment because L'Oreal has never invested in the industry from a service space perspective. So that's obviously a big deal. So, one other thing in med spa and aesthetics business, you have started this business with a very core belief around positive aging. Do you want to share more? What do you mean by positive aging? It's a word that you use, I think.
So I think again in our industry we see a lot of things happening. Sometimes it's scaring people. We see injections, people too much injected. Mainly, this is what we see when we're scared. So I think positive aging is very important. I believe we don't need to look younger necessarily. We need to look in health. We need to look good in our skin. Our clientele go through a different step of their life from sometime maternity, most of the time menopause at one point also. So the woman in general go through many changes with hormones that come to a point at 45, 50 years old. They will kind of hit a wall and find that they look either super tired or angry, and they need our support. So I think to have tools to support them and from the entire industry to help people to look good and feel good from inside is very important. Sometimes people have challenged me and say, but the most important is inside, growing, learning. And I'm like, I'm all about that. But the first thing we do, it's what people see. It's how we feel and how we look. And I think we dye our hair, we buy great clothes. Can we train our skin? So my philosophy always been to train your skin as you train your body or you eat well. It's part of a balanced lifestyle. And for me to be able to support the positive aging for women and for men is crucial, and it does empower them to feel their best. And for me, it's just the beginning. I'm close to get to 50 years old. For me, it's the start, always the start. So I want to feel good.
Yeah, great. And I understand that you actually, in your marketing efforts, you do a bunch of online marketing and other things. You don't target people under 35, is
Right.
that? And more, any reason why you don't?
Yeah, you have read about that. So for sure, the 20 years old who have acne or, people who have challenges under 35, they are welcome in our concept Dermapure because we believe our main public is women aging, like 40 plus. We spend our digital dollar on 35 to and plus for a different reason. I have a 20 years old daughter. I believe they need to go to raise their own confidence first. They need to start in life and be comfortable with themselves. And it comes to a point maybe when you're 30 and you had children and you start seeing the aging process. Now you can go deeper for anti-aging. In the meantime, under 35, we do facials, we have skincare. But us, Dermapure, normally we spend our dollars on 35 plus because this is where people start facing the real aging.
So in Dermapure, in your kind of a business, you know, cutting hair, everybody knows it's about, I need to go to a salon. But I'm assuming there's a lot of education and, awareness that you need to build as well. Do you have to invest in marketing, which is beyond just lead gen?
Oh, yeah.
How do you segment your marketing to address both?
Yeah, so, and it did evolve a lot in 15 years. Like digital campaign by itself was super strong 15 years ago. Now it going to mainstream social media awareness about each and every doctors, each and every partners, technicians, nurses. The patients want to know who's going to treat them. So the marketing have changed a lot. I think we need to go local. We need to be close to the community. I always gave to many fundraising in my own cities. And I think to be present, to give back to community, it's also important. So yes, digital is one part, like the Leads campaign for awareness, but giving time, recording videos, educational has been the success for us.
Cool. Yeah, so I think so. Even though you're growing and becoming bigger, the doing the local work is still very important. It's not like just because Dermapure is a big brand, you just do digital and sit back, like looks like,
Right.
right? So
It would be easy to say, let's do a big brand only, like shorter the team, have one account Instagram, have one of each things, but then you depersonalize. And I like to say when you choose a plastic surgeon, would you click on a campaign that you see the largest network of surgeon? Obviously, no, you would click for this doctor has 20 years experience. You see him in the portrait, he's a real person, concrete, and then you're going to learn more about him. So for me, at Dermapure, it's the same. I want to make our doctors shine. I want to make our staff, like a technician, nurses, doctor assistant, to be known locally. So I think all of us in the industry needs to learn from that. It takes more effort. It takes a lot more resources in terms of person implicate, but it's key. And I think a lot of network forget about this local approach because it's just easier.
yeah, that's true. So much that you are really promoting and marketing the doctor themselves in terms of the work they do. So that way,
Yeah.
people are more confident. But in the industry, then, given the breadth of both products that you do, you also do carry a bunch of retail, like you said,
Yes.
working with Function Lab earlier, and what kind of investment do you have to do to make sure your employees are trained and don't forget things because it's bought
Yeah.
in on, you can always, how does that work in Derma?
Yes. So training is number one, to keep people interested, to keep people as a learner and be able to share with patients. So we have a structure that we work like it's Dermapure in Canada. It's a big network. We have suppliers who's helping us. So we want to work with the best, and we believe the experts are the trainer also of each of our supplier. So we have organized a way that our staff are trained by the best experts for each type of technology. Again, it takes an effort to build that structure and make sure it's smooth, dense. to train people, train the doctors. At least twice a year, we see the doctors in person, and we bring now with 130 doctors, we bring them to share their best practice. So that's the advantage also to have a large community. Is now we are surrounded by a lot of great experts, international experts based in Canada, and through our different summits and different venue, in person is essential. That's another thing which some people will cut on. They say no more big meetings, and we need to cut. In-person training is crucial, but also in-person training as a group for them to share live. So it's not the easiest path we take. It's always like how we can benefit the most. And what has value is sometimes intangible, a lot of time intangible. So those relations are very important.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned, I think the suppliers themselves have pretty good training programs, and leaning on them and integrating them into your overall approach of how you train people is good.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Growth Diaries is brought to you by Zenoti, the software trusted by over 30,000 salons, spas, med spas, and fitness studios.
So in terms of the future, what do you see for Dermapure? I mean, you are right now, how many stores in Canada?
75
Yeah.
this month, yes. So, and then we look at it from a step back. My dream always been that Dermapure would shine around the world, serving patients the same way, like in different countries, the very appealing cities like New York or Paris or LA. So for me, that dream still very clear. I think we have consolidated Canada the past 18 months, finishing this December. And we're going to move on and go deeper with your technology, Zenoti, to be closer to our actual customer. I think we have a million emails right now in Canada. Sometimes we don't have the emails, but it gives you a view on the size of our clientele in Canada. So I hope we will do right to go potentially in US and other countries in the years to come.
And if you look back on your journey in Dermapure, is there anything that stands out for you which you might have done differently?
Oh, that's a good question. What I would have done differently. As I tell you, I'm really fast. I always go fast. So I think sometime I would probably reflect more on big transactions, how it's going to be impacting us. I like to grow fast, but I think I underestimate sometimes how big some transaction can be. And yeah, that's about it. Like, I'm not somebody who regret. I'm like, I learned from this, I learned from that. So without me going through those challenges, we wouldn't be there today. So super happy that L'Oréal believes in us. We have an A team, so the actual C-level, VP level in our company is super strong. So are they all A team player? Yes, and they are the people who's driving the business right now. When you have those layers like C-level, VP levels, they're all stronger than myself. So I think that's a key success factor, and sometimes slow down a little bit to put the processes and system in place. It's very important. Don't go too fast.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think, yeah, definitely always reflecting on things a little bit, but that sometimes moving fast is important when you're an entrepreneur, and then it's a balance between the two. So you built obviously a very successful business, because out of 70 plus stores, you're doing over $200 million of revenue today. It's a big company you've created with good leadership. But is there a company out there that you admire personally as well outside?
Oh, yes, there's many in our industry. I'm looking at what Skin Spirit is doing. I know it's also working with Zenoti. Ideal Image, who have paved the way in the past, like growing laser away. So big networks, Australian Laser. We learn from each other. Some of them have done franchise. I don't know much about franchise. We don't have that structure, but I think we're all educator of this market. If we are driving with good intention, this is where I do admire the other brands like Skin Spirit. I think they are doing an amazing work. So yes, I do admire our competitors.
Cool. That's good to know. It's more usually when you say admire, people pick other something totally unrelated. It's nice to see you say that you look at your own space to admire. Everybody's doing something wonderful, not just
Oh yes.
kind of.
Like everybody have a place. Through a time, maybe there will be other fusion, like for the best of the customer. So I think we all have a role to play. Again, great values and great intentions are very important. The danger sometimes it's if it becomes mainly financial because it's an attractive industry. Sometimes they lose the focus on the right thing for the patients. But I think the big networks have succeed because they are built on great values and great system, and being patient centric is the most important. So from out of our industry, there's definitely other brands, but by itself, L'Oréal for me, it's a company that really inspires me. They are able to diversify. They have 37-ish brands, and each brands have their local flavor. So I do admire the way they respect brands. They just launched Skin Better, ASAP. So it's probably the number one for me, L'Oréal World.
Nice, nice. So first thing I would say is, why should someone choose Dermapure if you're a customer?
Yes. Oh, why would people would choose Dermapure? I think there's a really empathic approach. From the beginning, when I did hire staff, was not about is she beautiful, is she trendy. I was like, is she empathic? Our patient will unveil their challenges, like from wrinkle to I'm not comfortable with this, and I had babies and I have stretch mark and cellulite. They need to undress. If my staff wouldn't have been empathic, it doesn't work. So that's very, very important for me.
That's nice to hear that. So definitely in your industry, it's very important that the people are to be empathetic, and that's what you deliver. Even I say in Zenoti that if I had to pick only one skill and one attribute, what would be? I always answer empathy is what I would want in all my employees. And in fact, I would want to be known saying, oh, I think Zenoti employees are very empathetic kind of stuff. So that's something we believe in together. Yeah.
Yes, what is all your values?
Yeah, we have great, like it's called GREAT. So it's being genuine, respectful. So it's like we called it respectful because we wanted to fit that GREAT, but it was about empathy and excellence and accountability and teamwork.
Accountability is so important. And the last one?
Teamwork.
Teamwork, for sure. Collaboration and genuine. I hear kindness through it also, and empathy.
I feel people who are not genuine are very hard to work with, right? People are to be honest about, because if they're always misrepresenting things, then you can't work with them anymore.
We lose time.
Yeah. So if somebody was starting today in the industry, you obviously represent one of the largest industries. What would your advice be to someone who's just starting off?
Yes, have courage and don't be shy about testing your vision, because people will say it's impossible, really. Like people will try to stop your project. I remember the beginning, they were like, oh, it's not the right city, not the right street. You're not a doctor. You're a young woman. You're like, nothing was on my side if I listen people. So courage, humility, uh, believe in your vision, never give up, and surround yourself with people who believe in your vision. Because it's good to be challenged, but at one point people need to embark the journey and help you build. And to build, you need that 100% dedication to a project. So I feel from the scratch, my parents were working with me doing the online sales, and I was growing. My daughter who was around at the office with me, and again, today I have probably 15 of the first employees still on board. We did our first getaway in Vegas, actually, where we are today. In the desert, we were 10 employees at that time, and we built the values. So I think build the values, vision, mission with your first smaller team, engage them, And as it progress, like celebrate, because celebrate for me is recognition, and I know it's important for you too. So it needs to be fun, to be engaging. And us as leader, we tend to get serious because we're dealing with serious problem, bigger problem, as it grows. But if we lose that first mission of having fun, ignite the fire with the team, they are not as inspired. So I think the success for the young business owner, like, don't take yourself too seriously, have fun with your team, focus on the vision, and don't worry if sometime you have a knee down or you fail. It's part of the journey. So I love to give to the young entrepreneurs. So I'm very passionate.
No, that's very practical advice, because I think, often, of course, people start with some passion, but then practically there are challenges and issues, and you get frustrated, you have to go deal with them. But in that frustration, if you forget the original purpose and passion and don't represent it right with the employees, then you're going to have a problem with your whole approach and plans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like engagement is number one. So number one leader to be inspiring with the team, and then his leader under the same. So when I hire a leader, I want to make sure they have that spark.
Yes.
And the light and like the fire for their team. So it's, for me, it's number one.
And do you have a favorite book that you loved?
Right now, it's the person we met last year, Elizabeth, who have done her second book called The Big Magic, and it's really about creativity for every people to be happy, being in your creativity. I gave that book to all Dermapure employees last year, and what was impressing me from her, she's asking a question to everyone she met, like, what's the most exciting part of your life right now? And people just stop, and you see their eyes and they're like, it's my son or it's this project. But to ask the right question to people, like, are you passionate about something? And you may think, I'm 40 years old, my life is pretty straightforward, kind of boring, like, what would excite you? So you need something in your life, personal or business, to be in your full creativity and full energy to be happy. So that's what the book is saying. And I went around and asked, visit many of my clinics and say, what's the most exciting part of your life? And actually, I learned a lot, because when you ask that to people, they surprise you. You learn sometimes things that you don't know. So Big Magic is a very interesting book for me right now.
Cool. That's very interesting. That's last time's conference day was useful in that idea and a tip of going around asking everyone that.
It chose the right keynote last year.
You obviously built a very successful business as a leader, but is there a motivational quote that stands out for you?
From inside
Or
myself,
that you have, that you feel is
a motivator.
motivational for others
Yeah.
and everyone.
As I say, I'm a single mom, so I think, and it came to a point in my life that my parents also lost their job from the factory my father was working at. So at 30 years old, I was with my daughter, 5 years old, my parents, and I was actually supporting the family. And I thought, I need to do great and be in charge of the family, but also inspire my daughter. So it's always been a goal for me to inspire her. Today she's 20, and I could tell it's the success I'm the most proud. I don't know if she is a success, but she's successful. She studied business. She's doing training for half Ironman right now, and focus in her life in general to nurture happiness. So I would say always been a motivation for me to be an example for my daughter. And I have many friends who are CEOs or president, and they're like, oh my God, my children, like, I lost it. And I'm like, oh, that was my number one. Doesn't mean you have no challenge with your children, but it's always been my number one motivation. And I think now she's good to go. And I can continue my career and be a mother, just an advisor mother now.
Yeah, but that's true. I mean, for so many leaders and bringing up kids is the biggest challenge in parallel to your work. And I found it always to be the one thing which I prioritize everything outside
How
of
old
work.
are your children?
My kid, older one is 25 and the younger one is 21, kind of thing.
So they're growing, coming independent.
Yes, now they are quite independent. So
Yes, I'm sure they're well raised.
yeah. The second one is just finishing college in undergrad, and he's in Duke in North Carolina. So
Wow.
and the older one just finished and he's working, but don't do anything in computer science. One of them is in material science, the older one, and the other one is in biotech,
Oh
biostudies.
yeah, they took the brain out of you, right?
Yeah, thanks a lot for making the time for this. I mean, it has been very inspiring to actually watch you build your business from the sidelines. When I see you, how you've built and how you've positioned the company, and the clarity of values around saying, we need to have a certain culture and values that you've done. And it's always easy to forget the basics when you're building a big company,
Yeah.
but you've always remembered the basics. And, I think that's important as we build a large, mature business. I think your brand is truly respected across all the brands that I know of in the industry. So,
Oh, thank you. And I do admire you. It's been many years we worked together. I have seen Zenity growing and we have test and learn in some of the systems. So I feel we participate actually to make Zenity better as you made our company better. So I think this is a great example of doing the right partnership to grow and that we're looking for the future. I think we're going to talk a lot about AI coming on
yes.
in this summit, so I'm looking forward to it and how it will make our industry evolve. Super interesting. So always been passionate about innovation, so being your partner is a pleasure.
Growth Diaries is brought to you by Zenoti,